Earful Tower listeners, it is a massive milestone today, the biggest ever. As of today, literally today, Monday, the Earful Tower podcast has had over 200,000 downloads. Now that, for me anyway, is mind-blowing. I mean, honestly, it's just amazing to think how many people there are out there. Or, if it is just you, Mum, pressing repeat 200,000 times, I'm really impressed by your perseverance in making this show grow. If, as I suspect, it's not just Mum, thanks to all you guys out there listening. It really means a lot to me. And, without you guys, we wouldn't have a show. So as a thank you to all you listeners, I'm going to open up the closed and secret Facebook group for the rest of the month. Anyone who wants to see what goes on behind the scenes, you are welcome to. There is more information about that at the end of the episode. Anyway, on with the show. As some of you regular listeners may know, I'm getting married soon, so I've got wedding bells chiming in my ears even when I'm asleep. So it's perhaps no surprise that I came across an interesting woman called Michelle, who's a pastor in Paris. A pastor. She's not an Italian dish. She's a reverend, and she blesses people at their weddings when they come from around the world to Paris to tie the knot. As for me, I'm getting married abroad, but this idea of Paris as a magical wedding setting was really intriguing to me, so I had Michelle in the studio to talk about it. So, and excuse the pun in advance, without further ado, here's Michelle. Oh, and don't forget to hang around at the end for info on how to get that free bonus material for the rest of the month. Anyway, on with the show.
One man, one country, one red scooter. Here's the Earful Tower with Oliver G.
Michelle, welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
Michelle
Great to be here.
Wahila.
It's just like tequila.
Yeah. What, in sound or taste or?
Oh, maybe both.
Yeah, right. Okay. So I've already introduced you. You are, the list is long. You're an ordained minister.
Yeah.
You're a reverend. You're a pastor. What have I missed?
That's all sort of the same thing, right?
But they're all, it makes your LinkedIn profile look bigger, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's like saying journalist, reporter, podcaster, blogger.
Same thing,
Yeah,
yes.
same thing. Sounds good though.
Absolutely.
So I think the big question of the day that we'll get started on before we talk about everything else is, I've written it down. It's, why do people want to get married in Paris?
Because it's Paris.
I could have guessed that.
Yeah, probably. It's the most romantic city in the world.
Is it true that people want to get married here?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. People want to get married in France.
Okay, talk me through this. What's going on?
Well, it's beautiful. The Eiffel Tower, just from Trocadero, having your ceremony overlooking the Iron Lady. Why not?
Is it about the pictures then?
Maybe a little bit.
Is that what it's about?
I think it's about the memory.
Yeah.
And that's what people want out of life. Memories that they know in that moment there has been something good.
Right. It's mostly, so what is it, sort of mostly Americans that you work with? Because I think Chinese people like to come here for their weddings as well.
Yes. Also, many Japanese
really?
people come to marry in France, and that's a whole different thing. But I think I've worked with couples from all over, and I think they each come for their own reasons. But it is about the city being a city of love and for romantics. So
you're the perfect person to talk about it then, I think. And is it beyond just the Eiffel Tower, or are there other things that people want to get involved, what's the typical wish list that people have when they contact you?
I think people want the whole experience. And
they don't want the urine in the street and the rats on the metro.
Okay, well, even the rats need something good. But I think they want to walk down those cobblestone streets hand in hand. They want to sit at a cafe and take a coffee. They want to just be in a city of art and love and light. And I think that's what we all want in life. So it's the perfect place to make that starting point.
Life is always better with cobblestones.
Absolutely. Unless you're wearing heels, and then it's
never had that.
So
I've never
good.
had that problem, but I can imagine. It's not great for being on a scooter at cobblestones.
Okay.
It's hard. You could bite your tongue off if you're not careful, you know what I mean? It's too...
That's why I wear my Converse sneakers with my tulle skirt around Paris. I absolutely do.
Yeah, that's so cool. So for anyone who has no idea about Michelle, you should look on her Instagram right now. What's the Instagram handle?
Ruffled by Grace.
Ruffled by Grace, and get a look at the person that we're talking to. We're not talking what you'd imagine as a typical pastor, are we? I say pastor, you say pastor.
And it's my bad American accent.
How do you pronounce the Italian dish? Do you say pasta or pasta?
Pasta.
So you pronounce them differently?
Yes.
I say them both the same. Pasta. Okay. Anyway, so you're different because I was reading about you this morning. lace and piercings.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. What's that? What's all that about?
I think
You got a big nose piercing, and tongue
do.
piercing, and
I don't have my tongue
No, I'm
pierced
just
yet. I don't know. I think when I tell people that I am a pastor, it's either silence or just no way. I don't think I look like the stereotypical pastor.
Definitely not. No.
But I hope that what I offer is blessing, just as any other, middle-aged white man could.
Right. That's the typical pastor?
It is for me, but I think I grew up in America and we saw a lot of white men in the pulpit. So It is a little bit groundbreaking to be a woman in the position, for sure.
So talk for people a little like me who are still a bit confused by it all. When you say so what you do is you give blessings to people.
Yes.
So let's walk through it first. I'm a couple from America.
You are a couple.
Or from wherever. I want to come to Paris and get married, and you're going to be put off straight away by the red tape that France is famous for.
Yes.
In fact, is it impossible to get married legally here?
Almost. I really suggest that couples go and they tie the knot in their home country, and then they come here with that piece of paper that says they're married, and we have a blessing. We have the white wedding here, and you do the legal stuff wherever you're from. It's just easier.
Yeah. And is that what a lot of people do nowadays?
I would say most of the foreigners coming here, that's what they do, unless they have a French
even
spouse.
just in general in America or Australia, do they get married in like people get married in a, what do you call it, the office?
Right, like in the, what we would say the mairie here.
Yeah, town hall, yeah.
I think, when I was in America, I did sign most of the licenses because I can. So if you're coming to the church, which is where I used to work,
We've got to talk about that as well. You used to work at the American University of Paris. That's not right.
No,
the American church.
I did. Yeah. For about 3.5 years, I served. That's what brought us to France, which was pretty cool. It's a huge, very diverse congregation of people from all over the world. It's called the American Church, but it's really a beautiful tapestry of people.
Yeah, that's cool. A bit like the American Library.
Absolutely.
Which is, I don't think, too far away.
No.
I had them on this show, and if you're not American, you can still get a book.
That's right.
There you go. It's the same with if you're not American, you can still go to the church, the American church. Absolutely. So you were there for 3.5 years, and what you say you served there? What does that mean?
I worked there,
yeah.
but it is service.
Is that what it means to say you served there? It just means you worked there.
I feel like it is serving. It's a serving profession. You are serving the people who are around you, and you are serving God. And so it's definitely a service to be, and it's a privilege to be in the church, to be working in the church. But yes, it was my job.
And what's that church like? Where is it exactly?
It's on Quai d'Orsay.
Yeah, so down by the river?
Yeah, exactly. River view. It's a beautiful, beautiful sanctuary. And it is full of people with great big hearts who want to do good work in this city. It serves really as a community center. I mean, they have everything from AA to schools.
Wow, okay.
And it's a great, great little community.
And is it like an old church like the other ones around Paris?
Not as old, no. But it's you should have them on your show. It's a great group of people, and it's a beautiful monument. It certainly is an American monument in France. Right.
It's amazing how many American monuments there are in. I could do a whole show about that as well.
You could.
The church, the university, the
library.
The library. Mm-hmm. Gosh. Anyway, so you served there for 3.5 years, and then you said, "I'm doing my own thing." You went rogue.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Actually, I really stepped away to take better care of my family. Right. I have 2 little boys and a husband who need me, and really wanted to be there for them more than I was there, and then kind of fell into weddings.
Right. And then, I mean, how did that happen?
Well, when I was serving in the church in the U.S., I did a ton of weddings, but at the American church, they have this unique thing where they have a wedding pastor. And I only did a couple of weddings while I was there, but the ones that I did were amazing. And it's these foreigners coming to be blessed, and they are so happy with what you're giving them. And it was actually one of my photographer friends who said, "You should do this," and the rest is history.
So you must have had some interesting couples and stuff coming through. Didn't you say to me that you do sort of all couples? You love a good love story?
I love a good love story. And so sometimes that can be really crazy, but it's good. It's always good.
So you just, any couple, all good, anyone?
I always have a meeting with my couples because, I do come out of a faith tradition, and that's not for everyone. But I think overwhelmingly the answer is always yes. People want that peace, that blessing. And so we just see if it's a good match, and then we move on.
And do you even do like people who are non-religious?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think even the people who say I'm not religious, there is something about that moment, that being married, that sort of draws out the spirituality in people. Because I do think like love is the foundation of that. And so there's that moment in life. And so I want to be there to reflect that for people.
It's a great shame that we didn't meet 6 months ago, isn't it?
It is.
Same way I'm getting married, but I'm doing it in a different country.
But, I need to be there when you start your journey.
That is such a good idea, Michelle. What you should... So Michelle's referring to the honeymoon scooter trip, season 4 of the Earful Tower, where my soon-to-be wife and I are going to ride around the whole entire country on the silly little red scooter that we got. Do you want to be there on the Champs-Elysees and break a champagne bottle over my head or something?
I'm not sure if I could break a champagne bottle, but I can definitely bless you on your way. I think that would be
really
super cool.
Yeah, we need that. That'll be fun. I might make an event out of it that we start like actually at the Champs-Elysees or the Arc de Triomphe or something.
I think it's perfect.
Yeah. Okay, I'll keep you on. I think it starts August 15th. Are you here?
No.
Okay, we'll have to do it
vacation
before.
Time.
We'll have to do it before. We'll have to. What do you call? We'll film it in advance.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. What was I going to talk about? Yeah. So everything you said about Paris has been quite positive, but we have to also be quite honest with each other. Paris isn't perfect. Now, this show is also about just Paris in general. So I want to talk a little bit about the downsides of Paris because I think it's only fair. Mm-hmm. What are the things you don't like about Paris?
Man, it's hard to get
don't
paperwork.
You dare tell me. Oh, I thought you were going to say it's hard to find something to say that's negative about it.
Oh, it is. But I think, and we're all honest, and, your audience maybe is partially expat, so everyone gets it. It's hard to adjust to life here in some ways, whether it's the paperwork or figuring out schools or the doctor or whatever you need to do, and it takes time. Our family's been here a while, so we can say we've made it through that, and then there's always something else. I did a wedding where the car was broken into, and my titre de séjour was stolen. It's like,
what?
Gosh, what a process.
They broke into your car and stole your titre de séjour.
It happens. It was my fault for leaving it, but, and so it's like, what I told my husband was, man, now I have to do the paperwork to get it replaced, but 4 months later, I had a new card. So
just 4 months.
Just 4 short months.
Is your husband French?
No, he's American as well.
Okay, so you're doing the full sort of.
We are the strangers in a strange land.
Yeah, it's not very common.
No, it's pretty unique, but we love it here. Our boys are way more French than they are American now.
They speak French?
Yeah, they go to French school. Yeah. They are the little children with the baguettes on the street.
No way.
Oh yeah.
And haven't you given them French names as well? I saw somewhere.
No, in fact, my oldest son has a really hard American name.
Okay, we don't need to talk about your children's names. I don't know.
But we are the strangers. We will always be the foreigners. But I think we love life here, and that's why we decided to stay.
Yeah, is it like you said? You send your kids to a French school. Does that mean that through your kids you're meeting French people and sort of finding that you?
Yeah, we have
integrate like that.
Real French friends.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because if you had to send them to an American schol or an English language school, then surely you would just meet all expats and you'd be forever in a bubble.
Right.
Which is a danger living here. A lot of expats do it.
I experienced that a bit before I kind of moved from my previous position into more French life. And there's downsides and plus sides, but we love French life. So why not live it, right? Have French friends, go do French things, like really, really try to live it the best we can,
And are you from New York?
Upstate New York.
Upstate. So that means not Manhattan.
That means cows and grass and trees that my
right.
boys can climb in the summer. Yeah.
So then Paris would be quite different to upstate New York. How's that adjustment going? 6 years in, are you still adjusting?
We didn't come from upstate New York. We came via Pittsburgh, which was great. Sort of understood city life a bit, even though it's a small city. We always go home, quote unquote, to New York for the summer. and enjoy that. And we're always happy to come back.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
cool. I want to talk about, you get the people that come to have their pictures in front of the Eiffel Tower and everything. Do you ever get really unique ones? Or does it generally follow a sort of...
I mean, I think in some ways I appeal to sort of an unconventional crowd,
Right.
if you will, because I don't look like a
Is it the
typical
lace?
pastor. It must be the lace.
Yeah.
It's my collar, maybe no. But, people want all sorts of different things. Some want very classic pictures, some want editorial, some want fun. And I just try to go with that flow. And I have a great photographer that I work with, and so she just makes it happen.
Hey, maybe she's
magic.
listening. What's her name?
Her name is Crystal Kenny.
Hey, Crystal.
Yeah, she's Miss Paris Photo.
Okay, there you go.
So you should look her up. But I think she just gets it. She gets what clients want, and no matter what they're seeking, she can make it happen.
Did they ever say, like, I want to be married in the catacombs or anything like that?
I haven't done that yet, but I would certainly be up
do
for
it?
it. That would be fun.
That
I
would be
did a
cool.
Halloween wedding a few years ago. It was
really?
great fun.
What does that involve? Or
I
was it
mean-
just that it was on the day of Halloween, so you call it Halloween?
It was. No, I mean, they were not a traditional couple, and I think that's what was fun about them. And they had a great love story. They came through a lot of tough times, and they're like, this is the day. And so there I was.
That's so cool. May I ask what arrondissement you live in, if you live in an arrondissement at all?
Septième,
7e.
pretty posh. But
Hey, so that's like the number one tourist arrondissement
Yeah.
in the whole city.
I can walk to work. It's great.
So I would like to ask you a little bit about things to do in that area. But obviously, I mean, you got all the main things there. So let's breeze over that stuff. And then I want to learn some things about the 7th. I mean, so
Okay.
you got the Eiffel Tower, right?
Absolutely.
And then what, Musée d'Orsay is there as well?
Yes. Invalides.
Yeah.
So, le Musée de l'Armée, Rodin.
Yeah.
I mean, what's great is that all the field trips for the school are in all the museums.
yeah.
So if I accompany the class, I get to see it all.
Okay, now let's flip it on its head and say, where are the really cool places?
Oh,
Let's say your family's visiting from upstate New York, and they're like, oh my God, I've seen it all already.
no, I want to sit in the Rodin.
You actually, just keep going
I
back.
do
Yeah,
that.
that
I
is
mean,
cool. The Rodin Museum in the summer.
yes,
Yeah, you can sit outside, have an expensive coffee,
a very
look at the
expensive
thinker.
coffee.
Yeah,
And Invalides, you can see it in the distance.
Hmm.
So why not?
I've never been in there. Invalides.
You should.
Should, yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about you when you're saying things like Rodin Museum. You said it in a very French accent.
Oh.
How's your French and how did you learn it? Terrible.
Terrible. I worked in English for those first almost 4 years, so I never spoke French then, and have taken some classes. My kids tell me I'm terrible.
Yeah, but how old are the kids?
Almost 10.
Oh, see, they're
and
too
almost
old now
7.
because now they'll speak it obviously fluently. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think you need to get on it when they're learning from the beginning, and then you learn with them. When they're learning the
I
word
was too
like
busy working.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
So
bad.
your French is terrible, you said.
pretty terrible.
Scale of 1 to 10.
Terrible being 1.
Yeah.
I mean 2, maybe.
Really, your pronunciation was very good for a 2 out of 10. I was thinking you were fluent.
Oh my gosh,
Really?
no.
Okay.
Everyone listening who knows me will laugh at that.
What, they'll laugh at your pronunciation or your 2 out of 10?
Maybe both.
Well, that's good that we can make them laugh out there. Okay, what else? What else are we going to talk about? What's coming up for you?
Well, we have had a lot. This has been a busy week. We had our giveaway, our Spread Love in Paris giveaway came to an end this week, which was great. And then weddings on the books. I am going to take a pause during the summer to go back to New York to see family, but I'm going to pick it right back up in September.
When is wedding season here?
Year round?
Is
I'd
it
like to
really like that?
say. More and more. I think you could have said wedding season was in the spring for a long time, but I think more and more people are choosing the fall or off times. And
So what's your
just year
advice to the people out there thinking, I want to get married in Paris?
the fall.
The fall.
Absolutely. September, October, even into November. That is my favorite time of year here.
Why is that?
I think the weather is fantastic. Usually you still have that great light until, very late in the evening. And there's not a lot of tourists at that time. Everyone's gone back to school and gone back to life. That's the perfect time to be here.
Yeah. And maybe we can sort of finish on some tips that
Okay.
people need to think about? Things that might sound obvious to you who've been working with it for years now, but what do people need to think about if they're going to come and get married here?
Well, they need their officiant, so
So
me.
you need Michelle.
But they need to trust the people who are here. I think things are different, say, in America than they are here. And let us suggest things for you. Let us help you. Let our team pull things together and make it happen. Let it be your vision, but let us help you. If you need a cake, we can do that. If you need a photographer, videographer, hair, makeup, like we have all those people in our little team, and I'm so pleased to be able to offer it. So
That's so cool. Oh, I had one more question actually. What's the difference between a French wedding and the rest of the world's wedding? Is there anything they do that's like a little bit different?
Well, I mean, the French party goes on all night long,
Right.
And we don't. Us Americans, we need our beauty rest.
And what
I don't
happens in
know.
America? I've noticed. I've been to a few weddings in different countries, and they all do it differently in terms of how hard they party. Sort of. I've heard that about French weddings.
Well, I mean, in America, all I can tell you is that my husband and I were married so long ago that our reception verged on like high school dance.
Really?
We were all so young. But
How long have you been married?
15 years in
Wow,
August.
Okay. May I ask how old you are?
Way older than you think.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Cool.
And so, that was a long time ago, and I think trends have changed. But like a proper French wedding really goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can imagine. Even like old grandmas drinking into the morning light, right?
One of my very favorite weddings was in Calais that I officiated, and man, the aunt, it was like the great aunt of someone. She danced all night, and at 3:00 when I wrapped it up, she was still
No way.
going. I was like, I will see you tomorrow.
That's so weird. I've got I got another question for you. I went to a wedding in France years ago, right? In Rennes in the west. But they weren't French, the people that had the wedding. They just wanted to have a wedding in France. And they went around and gave out pieces of paper with lyrics on it for the Marseillaise, the French national
Okay.
anthem, right? So your reaction suggests to me that that's not a normal thing to do.
I haven't experienced that.
Yeah.
But
So if anyone doesn't know the lyrics to the French national anthem, it essentially says, like, everyone to arms, we'll let the enemy's blood run down the fields around our, it's really quite violent. Anyway, the lyrics must be a bad omen or something because they got separated 3 days after they got
oh man,
married.
let's not do that. We will not put that in our tips and tricks.
Do you think it was the anthem that
Oh
ruined it for
man,
them?
I would expect a French couple to maybe like allez les bleus, or
Yeah,
like
but they weren't
some-
French though. These guys
oh, that's
were
right.
foreigners.
You said that.
And because no one else was French, so we all looked at the lyrics and were like, well, we don't know the tune or the rhythm, so people were trying to sing it in the church.
In the church, huh?
Yeah, I thought they thought it'd be a rousing kind of like, yeah, everybody come together, but it wasn't. It was like a bad Eurovision.
I'm probably not going to suggest that
Yeah.
for my couples.
Yeah.
I mean, there's very little that I won't go
Yeah.
along with, but maybe not.
We
that.
draw the line at the
Yeah,
Marseillaise.
we have to draw the line somewhere.
Okay, well, on that note, drawing the line on the Marseillaise, thanks for coming in the studio, Michelle.
Thank you for having me. I
Once
appreciate it.
again, ruffled by Grace
Yes.
on Instagram, but the website,
ruffledbygrace.com.
there you go, that easy. And I guess I'll see you for your blessing on the honeymoon season of the Eiffel Tower.
I will be there.
Can I ask you, is there anywhere in France that you recommend that I go to on the trip? Somewhere along the sort of
You're going to
love
go
heart
to
shape?
Provence, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that you just have to stand in that lavender field
Stand
and
in the
twirl.
lavender. Will you come and bless us there as well?
Oh, wow. I would love to.
All right, on that note, I'll see you in August and September. Thanks for coming in the studio, Michelle. And good luck with everything else.
Thank you so much.
You're listening to the Earful Tower podcast.
Well, there it was, a chat with the lovely Michelle. Now, here's where I usually read reviews that people have written on iTunes for the show, or sometimes I have Lena, my fiancée, in the studio to talk a little bit about the upcoming honeymoon plans, but not today. As I said at the start of the episode, I wanted to say thank you to you listeners, to you Patreon supporters, and to the people who've helped me reach this 200,000 download magical number. So the way that I've been making this podcast work is people pay a subscription to get all the extra videos that I put on every week, where I do the walk shows. If you've never heard of the walk shows before, it's like a talk show, but we're walking, we get all the guests, and I walk down Paris and film it live for the supporters. Now, a lot of you people who listen but haven't subscribed, or perhaps are thinking about subscribing, or don't know what actually goes on behind the scenes, this is the time to check it out. I want to offer it to you guys for free for the rest of the month. That is June 2018. Anyone who wants to get access to the closed Facebook group can have access. So the group is called the Earful Tower Flâneurs. You just go on the Facebook page of the Earful Tower, scroll down, you'll see it. You have to request to join it. It'll say, are you a Patreon? All you have to write is trial period, anything like that. And I'll let you into the group. And the reason why you should do this is because the rest of this month actually has a lot of really good walk shows coming up. We got Stephen Clark, the author. We got Elaine Shalino, the author. We're going to be walking down Rue des Martyrs. We're going to do I think the plan is a sunrise tour of Montmartre with April Pett, the tour guide. And actually on Saturday, so upcoming Saturday the 23rd, I believe it is, I'm going to be doing a live show with Craig Carlson, the guy that runs the Breakfast in America restaurant in Paris, or restaurants, I should say. And we're going to be doing a live interview about his book, Pancakes in Paris. And if you're in Paris, it's going to be at the Jardin Villemain in the 10th arrondissement. It's going to be like a picnic in the park. You're all welcome, free to join. It runs from 4 p.m. till 6 p.m. If you want to watch the live video, it will be 5 p.m. Paris time on Saturday. That's the next walk show, even though we won't be walking. So get into that Facebook group before then, and then hang around for the rest of the month to see the fun stuff. And if you like what you see, consider signing up and supporting the show, and join I think it's 160 other people who are making this show happen. So thank you to the patrons on Patreon, and thanks to Michelle for coming in the studio. And lastly, thanks for listening all the way to the end of this episode. Have a lovely week. Perhaps see you on Saturday.